There are a multitude of themes and standalone cards printed within the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG that almost entirely fly under the radar, whether it be for lack of playability, a boring playstyle, or general underwhelming ability. This really is the fate of many pack filler archetypes that Konami really never revisits after their original print run. The Tenyi spirits are part of an archetype that unfortunately meet this criteria. It's a generally underwhelming archetype that debuted within Rising Rampage that never really did see competitive play, apart from a single one of the spirits, Vasuda, that was teched for a few formats into other decks like Orcust as an extender. However, today I want to take a closer, deeper look at this incredibly well thought out and designed archetype, with fantastically themed artwork and effects. Now, these seemingly overlooked cards represent their source material in such a beautiful way. Today I just wanted to take the time to go over exactly how they do that, to bring some much needed awareness to one of my favorite themes. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Tenyi spirits and the supporting card pool, the archetype of Tenyi is a link-centric strategy that circulates around controlling the game state by protecting the vanilla archetypal link monsters, both Monk and Berserker. Now, the 6 main deck spirit monsters each represent separate chakra underneath the crown chakra from early Hindu teachings. Now, the archetype specifically surrounds the link Monk of the Tenyi. Now, the monk is meant to represent the Hindu practitioner, as the spirits or chakra interact and protect him throughout the entirety of the game. Now let me start breaking down each spirit, one by one, and exactly what they are meant to reflect within the Hindu practices. Adhara is the first of the spirits in the series, created after the Adhara chakra. Adhara is represented by the earth element within Hinduism as well as within the game. Now, Muladhara in Hinduism is the chakra that controls stability, financial and otherwise. It is the chakra that holds your foundation. This concept is quite well executed within Adhara's TCG effect, as it recycles resources, really keeping the card advantage and grind game of the deck intact and stable per the chakra. Satana is the second of the spirits in the series, created after the Swatisthana chakra. Satana is represented by the water element within both Hinduism and the game. Now, Swatisthana in Hinduism is the chakra that controls how the user relates with the emotions of others. It governs connections. Now, this concept is translated quite well within the effect of Satana in the TCG by allowing you to connect with others, counterbalancing their effects with your effects, coming back, destroying a monster when they destroy you. Now, Mapura is the third of the spirits in the series, created after the Manipura chakra. Mapura is represented by both the fire element within Hinduism and the game. Now, Manipura in Hinduism is the chakra that controls the self-confidence of the user, and how one reacts and bounces back within difficult experiences. Now, the TCG reflection of this chakra, in my opinion, is quite fantastic, as Mapura does just that, protecting you from the other player whenever they target you, preserving your game state, and in turn preserving your self-confidence. Now, Nahara is the fourth of the spirits in the series, created after Anahata chakra. Nahara is represented by the air element within Hinduism and was translated to wind within the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, Anahata in Hinduism is the chakra that involves love, joy, and inner peace. Now, this TCG representation is a bit of a stretch, I do admit. It boosts your attack, and I believe this is meant to represent the inner strength one has gained through the Anahata chakra. Now, Vasuda is the fifth and, personally, my favorite spirit in the series. Created after the Vasuda chakra, Vasuda is represented by the musical element within Hinduism and the dark attribute within the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, Vasuda in Hinduism is the chakra that revolves all around displaying personal power, communicating that strength. Now, this, in my opinion, is well represented within the TCG counterpart through Vasuda, allowing the player to offensively deal with threats on the opponent's board. This effect was so strong that it saw play as a extender in decks like Mech Invoked at a point, and even going second Orcust in a few topping builds. Now, Ashna is the sixth and the final of the spirits within the series of effective monsters, in the Tenyi archetype. Created after the Ajna chakra, Ashna is represented by the light element within both Hinduism and Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, Ajna in Hinduism is the chakra that connects with the third eye. Some call it the eye to the soul. This allows the user to see the bigger picture, going out of body, connecting with all of your chakra inherently. I think this is quite well represented within the TCG counterpart, as Ashna allows you to grab any of the other spirits, special summoning them from your deck by banishing it from the grave, representing the true connection between the third eye and the other chakra within one's body. Now, my most sincere apologies if I'm pronouncing this wrong. I believe it is pronounced Sahasrara, is not represented as simply a spirit within the TCG series, but as the boss monster of the archetype. And it's created after the Sahasrara chakra. Now, it's represented by the divine element within Hinduism, translated to the light attribute within the game. Now, Sahasrara in Hinduism is the crown chakra, the concept of being fully connected to all of your chakra. It represents the highest state of existence, and this translates as such in the game. Giving himself natural protection and power-generating abilities, the TCG counterpart is just as divine as the concept itself. A very well-translated concept, at least in my personal opinion. Now, within the artwork of the support cards for this archetype, you can see these spirits be channeled, connected with the monk, and form the divine connection that I previously spoke about. The artwork specifically does such a good job of reflecting these interactions, and genuinely, I think it is such a shame how much this archetype has been overlooked simply due to the lack of competitive relevancy. Now, I know that it's true that these cards were not the most successful archetype, competitive or otherwise, but I do think that the efforts of the design team with projects like this need to be recognized and put on display. A lot of very good work was put in to properly symbolize the different Hindu chakras, and honestly, I'm so pleased with how it's represented here. Now, I know this isn't necessarily in line with my typical style of content, but I do hope you guys learned a bit about the lore of these truly unappreciated cards. I do hope you guys enjoyed it, stuck through it. I really do want to take a second before I end to once again thank all you guys commenting and subscribing for doing so. This community has been so supportive of these videos I've been putting out, and honestly, it does just warm my heart to see all you guys saying all these super nice things about the stuff that I'm making. Hopefully I can keep putting out videos you guys can enjoy and support as much as you have been recently. Until next time, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.